Hello everybody and welcome back for some weekly VR news. As always, I am Mateo311 and this is your channel for everything VR related. So today's episode is all about the VR games. There's plenty of new announcements, new updates, and new releases to go over, and even some stealth drops that came out of nowhere. Additionally, the PlayStation VR2 is now working with Windows, we'll go over that, and there's a new omnidirectional treadmill in town. Now, there are, of course, links and timestamps if you want to skip ahead, but before we jump in, this video is brought to you by Stride Fates. The long-awaited story-driven campaign for this action-adventure parkour title will finally be available on November 9th. Pre-orders will get a 10% discount off of that $30 price tag, plus some unique cosmetics. So if you're ready to start jumping from rooftop to rooftop and dispatching plenty of enemies along the way, go use the link down in the description, and this is also your last chance to try out the closed beta before this game officially launches. But if you are waiting on some gameplay footage, don't worry, I'll have that also in the near future. Okay, so let's start things off like normal with the check-in, and that's what exactly have I been up to in the world of VR. Well, I actually used my headset this weekend to play Dungeons & Dragons IRL with the help of mixed reality. I was able to bring up my character sheet on the side of our game board, and just whenever I wanted to roll, just click my character sheet. So I got to experience this really cool mashup of old school tabletop gaming with the help of new age technology. Now, it's not exactly practical. I could have done the same thing with my cell phone and been more comfortable and didn't have to worry about battery life. However, it's really cool and it shows the potential for the future. Like, this can be amazing going forward. We all have a virtual board in front of us and we're picking up, you know, little characters, and we can only see them with the help of a headset or, you know, some type of MR device. Very cool. Not really there yet. A little gimmicky, but it was a lot of fun to play in that manner. Now, additionally, I'm preparing some reviews for the near future. One game I'm jumping into is Journey of Foundation. I hope to have that ready as soon as possible so you guys can see that before the game releases, but I don't know if I'm going to make it through. I'm also playing a few other games that I'm not allowed to mention right now, and Dungeons of Eternity is still really fun. I jump in there whenever I'm free. Well, let's move on to some more immediate news, and we actually had some stealth releases come to the Quest this week. First up is the truly intriguing biology-inspired action-adventure title Nano. Similar to the classic film Fantastic Voyage, you're going to shrink down to a microscopic level in order to eliminate the newly discovered Pandora virus. You'll remote control nanobots that have been injected into a patient, and from there you can directly battle these pathogens. Collecting DNA will allow you to create new defenses, and overall I absolutely love the concept. I'm just curious about how good the gameplay is. Now, this title did surprise drop with absolutely zero promotion, so while there's only a total of 12 reviews on the Meta Store, they're all currently 5 stars. I'm going to give the game a try as soon as possible, and I'll give you an update in a future episode. But let's move on to another title that also stealth dropped, and that's NFL Pro Era 2. Now, I'm not sure if the developers believe they have the next Madden on their hands, because it's only been a year since the last title released. Now, I do understand that an officially licensed football title does require roster updates, but do we really need a new game every single year? At the same time, though, I was happy to see they added a brand new 11v11 multiplayer experience. But from the additional feedback that I've seen on this title, it looks like it could have used a few more updates. And speaking of updates, Dr. Beef has updated the Doom 3 Quest mod to take full advantage of the Quest 3. There's now the inclusion of dynamic shadows, and the overall graphical impact this has should not be understated. In the dark, gritty world of Doom 3, there's plenty of powerful lighting effects at play, and shadows definitely help increase the overall realism when you play a VR title. Now, it doesn't matter if you've never played Doom before, or you're a veteran who played the original release of Doom 3, either way, I highly recommend you check this out in VR. Now, something else that might be worth checking out is the free demo for Wisdom Watcher. This dark fantasy-themed shooter takes place in a steampunk universe where you battle an array of astral creatures. This arena-based FPS has you battling ever-evolving creatures, collecting tons of loot in the form of weapons and power-ups, which should hopefully help you get to the top of the game's leaderboard. Overall, the title looks interesting, and I'm glad to see there's a demo so I can learn more about it. Now, something else exciting that got here just in time for Halloween is a Horde mode update to the Dark Pictures Switchback VR. Now, some people weren't sold on this title when it originally released on PlayStation VR2, but I absolutely loved it. The roller coaster ride through hell was action-packed and absolutely terrifying. A new Horde mode update sounds like the perfect reason to jump back in, and could be a great Halloween experience as you show this title off to a bunch of friends. Now, Switchback isn't the only title giving us a Halloween update, because Budget Cuts is also getting in on the spooky action. Now, this was already an anxiety-inducing stealth-based title, and it looks like the new Nightmare update is making it go full horror mode. The robots chasing you down in the original base game was already pretty scary, and now they just look absolutely terrifying. Now, the last game to give us some new updates is Firewall Ultra, but instead of new content, this is more quality of life changes. If you're keeping up to date, you would know that the release of Firewall Ultra was not very well received. Well, they've been prioritizing updates based on user feedback, and now the leveling system should feel a bit more rewarding. They've made some significant network improvements, additional adjustments for game balance and optimizing controls, and countless other little fixes and improvements. Additionally, they have 2 new maps and gameplay modes on the way, but I can't help shake the feeling that this is too little too late. Originally, I was extremely excited for Firewall Ultra, but based on the shoddy launch, I moved on and lost all interest. Now, it's a bit different for me because I'm not limited to one platform, so maybe this will be enough to bring some PlayStation VR2 users back in. Now, that covers all the information on games that already released or just got new updates, and let's move into some future updates, starting with a little bit of bad news. If you were looking to play Phasmophobia on your PlayStation VR2 for Halloween, unfortunately the game has been delayed. This absolutely fantastic 4-person co-op ghost hunting title has now been delayed for the 2nd time. Originally planned to release in August, then October, and now it's facing a new delay due to unforeseen challenges in adapting the game for consoles. Now, as much as it sucks that we won't get to play this for spooky season, I'd much rather the studio delay the title until it's ready. Just like the Firewall Ultra situation, first impressions truly matter. But in some good news for PlayStation VR gamers, the absolutely amazing Rainbow Six Siege style shooter Breachers is coming to the PlayStation VR2 next month. Now, Breachers is from the same studio that gave us one of my all-time favorite VR PvP title, Hyperdash. Hyperdash has recently gone free to play, and the studio is focusing a lot of their efforts on their newer title, which a lot of people are currently loving. So soon, PlayStation VR2 owners will have a new shooter option, and it definitely scratches an itch unlike any other title out there. And while we're discussing unique shooters, we got an update on the action-adventure parkour title, Stride Fates. Stride Fates is now releasing on November 9th for $29.99. If you bought the Steam Early Access version between September 4th, 2020 and June 10th, 2022, you will be getting Stride Fates for free. Now, that November 9th release is only for the meta version, and Steam owners will have to wait until 2024. But I'm definitely ready to jump in for some Mirror's Edge style action in VR, and I'll definitely be covering this title in a future video, so make sure to subscribe and turn notifications on if you want to see that. And our final game update is for Pavlov Shack, which is officially releasing on the Quest Store on November 14th. Now, for the longest time, I've always considered Pavlov the best VR shooter. It's basically Counter-Strike in VR with all of the additional benefits and mods that that game brings. I recently played this title with a bunch of other YouTubers on the Quest 3, and have to say it's absolutely fantastic. So any competitive shooter fans should be on the lookout for this title, and I already started working on a gameplay video for this one. Now let's start rounding this video out with this week's new releases, which honestly all look pretty damn good. First up is Journey to Foundation, a title I am beyond excited for. I'm a huge fan of the lore-rich world of Isaac Asimov, and I really hope this action-adventure title does it justice. I'm hoping for that compelling storytelling that'll force you to make some truly impactful decisions along the way. Additionally, this futuristic world features technology that's so far advanced it's practically magic. So that'll open up plenty of gameplay possibilities, and I can't wait to see what we're in store for. Now, for the horror fans looking for something new to play with their friends, we have the Devourer Haunted Souls. This 5-person co-op title will have you and a bunch of friends journeying through some haunted woods, attempting to lift a lingering curse. You'll experience a tragic storyline and be forced to make decisions together and solve some puzzles. Luckily though, you'll have a handful of ghost hunting tools at your disposal, so hopefully you'll make it out alive. Now, there's also a free demo of this available right now, in case you want to try it out before picking it up. Now, if you can't handle the jump scares and you're looking for a free-to-play shooter, we have Rampage Agents. This is a combination battle royale hero shooter that also features a co-op roguelite adventure mode. So if you need a break from competition, you could also join your friends to take down some epic bosses. Now, this title definitely looks really cool and I want to try it out, but I think they're going to have to focus on a Quest release if they want any true success. And the final release coming this week is another title I'm extremely excited for, and that's Ghostbusters Rise of the Ghost Lord. Rise of the Ghost Lord is like a more kid-friendly version of After the Fall or Left 4 Dead. You're still jumping in for some 4-person co-op action, but instead of machine guns and grenades, you'll be using proton packs and ghost traps. Now, I'm absolutely fine with this being a kid-friendly title, but they need to nail the gameplay loop and not just deliver a mindless shooter. I also hope they'll be able to hold on to some of the comedy aspect that the Ghostbusters series is known for. Now, I can't go into my reasoning, but lately I've become a little concerned for the release of this game. Now, I definitely hope I'm wrong, and we'll find out soon enough. Okay, so that was all of today's gaming news, and I just have 2 hardware topics to go over, starting with a brand new VR treadmill. The Omni One is definitely an enthusiast level VR treadmill with a price tag to match. Now at $2,600, the package does include a Pico Neo 3, but I would hardly call that a deal because you could get the Catwalk Core and a Quest 3 for only $1,500. Now, after my personal experience with the Catwalk Core, as good as this technology has become, I just don't think it's truly practical and is more suited for VR arcades. Unless you're dying to add a cardio aspect or suffer from motion sickness that you just can't get over, it's really hard to recommend the treadmill that'll cost you $1,000 or more. So while I do wish Omni One luck, I just don't think this is the right direction for VR products. Finally, we have some good news for people looking to get a PlayStation VR2 headset working with a PC. The developer of the IVVR driver, which allowed the original PlayStation VR 1 to work with a PC, has been hard at work trying to do the same for the PlayStation VR 2. Now, after 240 days, progress has been a bit slow, but definitely coming along. As of right now, the headset is working on Windows with certain AMD GPUs, with the help of a hardware dongle and a virtual link adapter. Now, the inside-out headset tracking is working, but controller and eye tracking still need a lot of work. Overall, this is some amazing progress, and it's starting to feel like the PlayStation VR 2 working with a PC is inevitable, but we'll see what happens in the future. Now that was today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. It means a lot to me. And of course, I'll see you guys on next time.